High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Welcome into North Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Baney alongside Dallin Fryer as we are ready to rock and roll. Sandpoint and Alta. Alta receives the opening kickoff and will throw, and it's nearly intercepted from their own 22-yard line. So an incomplete pass there from the Alta quarterback, and a penalty flag comes into the secondary as well.
Yeah, it looks like number 15 for Sandpoint, Forrest Ambridge, was just a little bit early there, making a good play. First play of the game, maybe getting some jitters out. Made a little bit of contact too early.
So that'll give the ball to Alta in great field position. As we are off and running, day 2 of the Rocky Mountain Rumble from Madison High School in Rexburg. 1st and 10 for the Alta Hawks from Utah. They're from Sandy, Utah. Pistol formation here. Bronco Hansel Fotu is the quarterback for Alta, and he will turn and hand off. Gain of just 2 on the carry there by the running back, Anthony Cottis. Game 1 of 4 today. We did 4 games yesterday, and we're so crazy we came back for 4 more.
Wondering how crazy it is so far. We'll see as the day goes on.
I don't know if anything will top that game last night between Skyline and Stansbury. 2nd down and 8 for the Hawks. Back to pass. Hansel Fotu going deep, overthrew his man, and again nearly intercepted by Ambridge Forrest. Boy, he's been involved a lot here on defense in the early going for Sandpoint, Dallin.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting in the right place at the right time. Obviously, the ball was a little bit overthrown there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps his hands on the next one.
So now it's 3rd down and 8, and the Sandpoint fans making a little noise. This is a Bulldog team that got all the way to the 4A championship last year before losing to Skyline. 3rd and 8 passing situation here for Hansel, Fotu, and company. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Pump fakes once. Now we'll take off and dump it off like a shovel pass. It'll be a yard shy of the 1st down, though. Threw it to his running back, Cottis again, for a gain of 7 Alta says, we got the first down. Official says, no, you didn't.
I'll tell you this.
And they do say, okay. I thought it was a yard shy of the first down marker, but.
A little generous this morning, maybe.
Okay. So that ends up going for 8 yards to Cottis. Nice improvisation there by Bronco Hansel Fotu as well to just pitch it at the last
It's
moment.
only been a couple plays, but you can tell he's very athletic, got a good arm on him, and obviously a good head above his shoulders as well.
Sandpoint, opening drive defensively, hand off to Cottis again. And, Alta will be the first of many opponents that discover trying to run against the Sandpoint defense. I'm choked up even saying the words. Running against the Sandpoint defense is going to be a tough endeavor for a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if that's something that Alta continues to do. It looks like, we've seen both first downs. They've gone up the middle. Will that continue throughout the game? I'm not really sure because, like you said, they return a lot. They're ready and not afraid of any team.
Definitely not. 2nd down and 8. 9:40 to play here on our opening quarter of action. Opening drive. Handoff again and nowhere to go. Cottis blown up in the backfield. A surge of Bulldogs, but the first one in there. Wow, that was an impressive job down there on that defensive line, and it was Tyrell Neely, the junior defensive end, who got in there first. Nicely done by the Sandpoint defensive line, and again, pretty generous on the forward progress. They're going to say Cottis only lost a yard.
Yeah, another 3rd and long. We'll see if Hansel Fotu improvs just like last time as well.
3rd and 9, Hansel Fotu in trouble. Down he goes. Sacked all the way back at the 35-yard line. He lost his helmet on the play as well. On the sack for the Bulldogs, Kyron Riddle. Oh, the Bulldogs came on the blitz, and Hansel Fotu never had a chance. Ends up losing 16 yards on that sack. Oh, my goodness.
I love that play call, too, on a 3rd and long after the last time when he was able to get outside. They made sure he didn't get outside that time.
So now the Hawks will punt. High booming kick, fair catch waved, and muffed! Sandpoint muffs the punt. I think Alta recovered. They do. Coming out of the pile with it for the Hawks is Abe Yeager. And muffing the punt for Sandpoint was Joe Bohannick. So Bohannick called for the fair catch, went off his hands. Alta recovers at the 30-yard line of Sandpoint. Now the Hawks' second life.
And we saw this yesterday. The wind is going the direction that Alta, or I should say the wind is going the direction that Sandpoint will be going. And so the ball kind of came back. Maybe it surprised Bohannick just a little bit as the ball was coming down where it didn't just come right into his hands. It came back and the wind fought him.
Out route caught along that far sideline. That is Lalo Tafisi with his first reception of the day. Goes for 5 yards. And it'll be 2nd down and 5.
And we've seen two successful short passes so far for Alta. I wonder if that's something they'll continue to do throughout the rest of this drive.
Yeah, just the short passing game. Nothing too fancy, right? And that last pass went for 4 yards. So 2nd down and 6 now. Alta with the ball at Sandpoint's 26-yard line. 8:10 to play in our opening quarter of action. This time they'll throw in the flat the other direction. It's Lalo Tafisi again, and this time nowhere to go. Jack Zimmerman. He was the Inland Empire League Newcomer of the Year last year, and now in his senior season for Sandpoint makes a great tackle for a loss of 5.
What a play by a defensive back. On those plays, it's hard to make an open field tackle, and he shed the blocker really efficiently. It was able to get the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. That is not an easy play to do.
So 3rd and 11 now for the Hawks. They'll go empty set here as Bronco Hansel Fotu trying to keep the drive alive for the Hawks. Sandpoint will rush 4. Taking a deep shot, has a man, but he couldn't stay in bounds. Intended receiver was Jackson Tawala. So he tried to go to Tawala along that near sideline and Just threw it a little too far out of bounds. Now it's 4th down, and we may see Alta attempt a field goal here.
This will be a hard kick against the wind.
Yeah, this is a 43-yard field goal try here.
We saw on the this is the same guy that punted for them. We'll see if he had a good punt. See if he has the leg as a kicker as well.
Yeah, this is Lincoln Eberhardt for a 43-yard field goal try. It is on the way. It is short and wide left. So, 43 yards, like you said, into the wind, because, again, the wind is blowing to the western part of the stadium. And so Eberhardt, short and wide left from 43 yards out. And so we remain 0-0 with 7:19 to play here in our opening period of play.
What a response by Sandpoint there, too. That with the muff punt, it's not something that you want on your first chance to get on offense for the year. The defense still stayed strong, and that should give the Sandpoint offense a lot of confidence here.
So now the Bulldogs with their first offensive possession after they muffed the punt. 1st and 10 for Parker Pettit and company. This is a Sandpoint offense that could be good this year, and they'll start with a run right up the middle across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. On the carry for the Sandpoint Bulldogs was Cody Brewster. And Brewster is going to split time in the backfield along with Kyron Riddle this year. They're trying to replace two-time All-State running back Garrett Cox, who's rushed for over 1,000 yards the last 2 years, but has since graduated. And a 6-yard run for Brewster on 1st down, a good way to start. 2nd and 4. Pettit claps his hands, gets the snap. Play blown dead, false start. This is becoming a new trend, Dallin, where the quarterback will clap for the ball instead of saying hike. When did that become a thing?
I think anything to draw the defenders off sides, maybe it helps the offensive line to remain still. It did not on that play, but it's something, especially in college football, has become really common. I don't believe it's legal in the NFL to clap, but in college football, it's something you see all the time, and it's obviously making its way to high school football as well.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 now following that 5-yard penalty. Pettit again in a false start, this time on the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. That's Max Frank, the junior. He's a returning starter for Sandpoint at wide receiver. So back-to-back false starts here has made it, instead of a 2nd and 4, a 2nd and 14.
And we need to point out, too, this is Sandpoint's first game of the year. A couple guys are getting their first varsity looks. Obviously, Frank is a returner, but getting the jitters out. I had to travel a long way to play here today. Maybe a little too excited.
So now we will get ready again. 2nd and 14. Parker Pettit will take off and run. Stutter steps to the 26-yard line. Is able to pick up, well, they'll actually put him out to the 21-yard line. That is a scramble of 5 yards, and we're back to 3rd and 9 now for Sandpoint.
And they are running this no-huddle offense. They want to move fast. They need a 1st down, though, if it's going to be an effective offense today.
3rd and 9. Pettit feeling the pressure, trying to avoid the sack, and does. Somehow stays on his feet, gets a block. Pettit will pick up the 1st down, but a penalty flag comes in at the tail end of the play. We'll see. What a run by Parker Pettit for 14 yards, but this could be against the Bulldogs.
It looked like a block in the back, right, as he was trying to evade his defender. The defender fell right into the back of the blocker.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Dallin. That is a block in the back. Sandpoint will have to move it on back. So 3 penalties in the last 4 snaps here for the Bulldogs.
Both of those last 2 plays, though, I've been really impressed with Pettit's ability to step up in the pocket. He doesn't just immediately go outside and try to run. He's stepped up, tried to find a window to get the ball to his receivers. I'm sure that as the game wears on and he's able to get more comfortable in the pocket, he's going to be able to hit his guys.
So 3rd down and 14 now for Sandpoint. Pettit will throw a backside screen to Brewster. Brewster gets a block. Brewster across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. Picked up 10 yards, but they needed 14, so it'll be 4th down now for Sandpoint. It looks like the Bulldogs will come on out and punt. It'll be Jacob Gove to punt here for Sandpoint. And he will be punting with the wind, so we will see what kind of impact that has. Down to 4:50 to play in our opening quarter of action. Uncorks a beauty, does Gove. We'll take a bounce. The Alta return man will pick it up on a hop. That's Noah Flores. Flores a return out to the 30. Here comes a block in the back against the Hawks. This return will be coming back as Flores returns it all the way to the Sandpoint 42-yard line. But as we said, this will be coming back on an illegal block. You saw it as soon as he turned the corner on the return there.
Yep. That was a pretty easy call for the back judge right there.
While we've got a moment, we didn't get to properly introduce you to the broadcast. This is an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of North Idaho Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. Today's game is also brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Brandon Bainey inside the broadcast booth alongside Dallin Fryer. We've got Josh McGauley on camera here for game number 1 of 4, day 2 of the Rocky Mountain Rumble here from Madison High School's Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg. You know, Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores, big sponsor here at IdahoSports.com. There's one right as you get into Rexburg. Had to stop off there this morning before I came to the stadium. And they're all over the state of Idaho, which makes them a great advertising partner. We can't do all these great broadcasts and podcasts and articles and everything we do without our great advertisers. So if you're interested in helping us out, everything we do is free, but producing it is not. Send an email to Logan at IdahoSports.com to help us out. 1st and 10, they will hand off to Cottis. And again, Cottis straight ahead for 2 yards. And again, Sandpoint not giving him much. That's Owen Wimmer, the senior linebacker on the tackle. This is a linebacker trio. So we talked yesterday about the 3 linebackers from Minico and how good they are. Sandpoint also has 3 really outstanding linebackers with Owen Wimmer, Wes Benefield, and Levi Ballison. I mean, those 3 linebackers, pound for pound, I'd put them up against anybody, even in the 5A ranks.
Well, and even just on the first possession, you saw the impact that they had. And they're not going to be short of that the rest of this game as well.
2nd and 8 for the Hawks from their own 23-yard line, down to 4 minutes to play in our opening quarter. Hansel Fotu taking a deep shot, overthrew his man by a good 10 yards. Hansel Fotu has completed 3 of 6 passes for just 7 yards thus far. So this is a Sandpoint defense that was the strength of its team last year until it ran into a team named Skyline in the 4A championship. And, well, they put up 42 points last night. We know what that offense is capable of. And, again, this is a Sandpoint defense that will be the strength of this Bulldog team. Heavily favored to win the Inland Empire League, but Sandpoint has their eyes on a bigger prize, trying to win their first state title since 1997. Hansel Fotu, deep shot again, has a man. It's Flores right off his fingertips. You see him slam the turf in frustration because he had it and then lost it. It's 4th down.
And Flores has a lot of speed, so that ball must have been thrown pretty hard because it covered nearly 35 yards, and even Flores wasn't able to catch up with it.
Yeah, Dallin with the next-gen stats here. That had an air yard travel distance of 35 yards.
I think it was in the air for about 2.1 seconds or so.
So here comes the punt, and that came off the side of the foot. Really strange. That takes a Sandpoint bounce and will be down at the the Hawks' 15-yard line.
I think that's a negative 9-yard punt.
Oh, I was wondering what you were pointing at. I was like,
I'm trying to count. I'm not as good at math as you are.
Well, as we learned last night, I just make up the number and then I say it with enough confidence that, everyone believes it.
Sure, my I think was not valid in that situation.
-9 on the punt. Wow. And that's, into the wind, but just didn't hit the side of the foot correctly. So Sandpoint with beautiful field position here. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs with the ball at the Alta 15-yard line.
And you'd love to see them take a shot at the end zone on this first play to build some momentum as well.
Parker Pettit out of a pistol formation. Will hand off up the middle. This is Brewster again, and Alta says, I don't think so, not that time. Brewster maybe gets back to the line, and that's it. That's Tate Medina leading the way on that tackle. And Medina's pretty good. In 2 games, 22 total tackles. He's averaging 11 per game. It's pretty good production.
Clearly a leader of this defense for Alta.
So 2nd down and 10 still after the 0-yard run by Brewster. And again, they're just going to go right up the middle with Brewster. And actually, double check that. They gave it to the fullback that time. That's Joseph Hughes. So Hughes with his first carry of the game, Joey Hughes, and gets a yard.
And they've had a couple different formations here in the backfield. They've gone, more traditional with 2 backs under center. Now they're back in the pistol. Obviously, a lot of trying to find their soft spot in the offense.
2:30 to play, first quarter, no score. Sandpoint facing a 3rd and 9 at the Alta 15, and the Bulldogs will take a timeout to talk things over. So we'll take the timeout with them. You're watching North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Back at Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg, Madison High School. Brandon Baney, Dallin Fryer with you here on IdahoSports.com. Rocky Mountain Rumble Day 2. No score between Alta and Sandpoint. Our first game of the day here. 2:27 to play first quarter. Bulldogs facing a 3rd and 9 from the Alta 14-yard line. Parker Pettit, the senior quarterback for this Sandpoint team. He's been a starter since his sophomore year. One of the best in not just North Idaho, but in the entire state. His dad, Tyler Pettit, actually played quarterback for Alta, the opponent. He grew up in Utah and played for Alta, starting QB for the Hawks in 1984-85. And they did a lot of winning when Tyler Pettit was QBing the team. He just missed out on the championship in 1983. I mean, I'm sure he was a member of the team, but wasn't the starting quarterback then.
Clearly winning runs in their blood then.
Yes, championship pedigree in the Pettit family for sure. 3rd and 9 out of the timeout. Pettit takes the snap, has time, rolling out right side. Looking for somewhere to go, dumps it off at the last moment. That is caught for the first down, out of bounds. Well, now they're going to mark him just short. That's Ari Vandenberg with his first grab of the day. It's going to be 4th down and inches. So officially we'll give him 8 on the pass. And that's Vandenberg's first grab of the day. He's a big, tall, 6'3". He's an awesome basketball player. During the winter for Sandpoint, and he's really developed into a nice wide receiver as well. 4th and inches. Sandpoint going to go for it. Pettit trying to go for the hard count to draw him off. And now he'll go under center. Quarterback sneak, and Pettit's got it easily. Needed a couple inches. Depending on where they spot this, I think he got 2 yards.
What a great push by the interior offensive lineman of Sandpoint, too. Pettit just lowered his shoulder, and they did the rest for him.
1st and goal from the 5 now for Sandpoint. Actually, 1st and goal from the 4. Yeah, Wyland Durrell and Carson Laybourne, both all-state offensive linemen a year ago for Sandpoint. Up the middle, Hughes into the end zone for a Sandpoint touchdown. Joseph Hughes from 4 yards out, and the Bulldogs strike first.
That's just tough-nosed football. I mean, you can see yards are not easy to come by so far in this game, but when you get them inside the 5, they've got the muscle for it.
Yeah, the muscle is correct. There's a lot of strong dudes on that Bulldog team. Looks like we've got the swinging gate here for the point after. Haven't seen this for a long time.
It's always an interesting thing to prep for, too.
And they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Did he get to the corner? He did. What a run on the 2-point try. by Jack Zimmerman. Hey, if the defense doesn't bring enough guys out to cover that part of the swinging gate, they're supposed to take it and try and run it in, and that's exactly what Sandpoint does. So the Bulldogs get 8. They're up 8-0 with 1:57 to play in our opening quarter. We'll be back right after this break on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
8-0 Sandpoint on a 4-yard touchdown run by Joseph Hughes and a 2-point conversion run by Jack Zimmerman. With 1:57 to play in the opening quarter here at the Rocky Mountain Rumble. So the Bulldogs, following the minus 9-yard punt by Alta, had it in great field position. The drive started at the Alta 15-yard line, and Sandpoint cashes in. First game of the year for the Bulldogs, third game of the year for Alta. Alta comes in with a record of 1-1 on the year. They lost to Layton, who we saw, win pretty easily over Lewiston yesterday. They lost that game 16-9. So this game could give you an idea not only of how Layton and Alta stack up, but maybe how Sandpoint and Lewiston might stack up as well.
Very true.
And then Alta won their second game 27-20 over the Westlake Thunder.
And so clearly they've had close games both times. If this game ends up being close in the fourth quarter, Alta has the experience with it so far this year.
We talked about Sandpoint comparing to Lewiston. They traveled to Lewiston on September 23rd. Sandpoint went 4-0 against the 4 5A teams in the Inland Empire League last year. Coeur d'Alene, Lake City, Post Falls, and Lewiston. So Sandpoint won the 5A IEL last year, basically. That's
hard to come by.
That's how good they were. 1st and 10 from their own 20. They try a sweep with Cottis. That goes for a yard, and that's it. On the tackle for Sandpoint that time, Tyson Case, the defensive tackle. They'll give Cottis 2 on the carry there. I mean, nothing if not consistent. 5 carries for Cottis. 4 of the 5 have gone for 2 yards.
Obviously, they're content with starting their drive every single time with 2 or 3 yards because that's pretty much what they've gone with every single start.
1:25 and counting here in our opening quarter of action. 8-0 Sandpoint lead. 2nd and 8 now for the Hawks from their own 22-yard line. Hansel Fotu out of the shotgun here. Handoff to Cottis, tripped up in the backfield again by Tyson Case. Sandpoint trying to argue the ball came out at the end, but the official says down by contact. Lost a yard. And again, back-to-back plays by Tyson Case on that defensive line for Sandpoint.
That was basically just a rip through his leg. He didn't even really, it looked like he didn't really make much contact with him other than the rip through. It was an impressive tackle by Case.
He's a big, strong guy. And yeah, he did. He kind of just overwhelmed his blocker. And next thing you know, he was right at the running back. 3rd and 9 for Alta. Bronco Hansel Fotu. Trying to find something here on 3rd and long. Has time. Going to take a deep shot. Looking for Flores again. Adjustment made. And the catch is hauled in at the Sandpoint 42-yard line. That'll be enough for an Alta first down. That is a 37-yard connection.
What an adjustment by Flores in the air. We've mentioned it. He's been overthrown a couple different times. This one, the wind kind of caught it, and he had to make an adjustment with 3 different Sandpoint defenders around him. That was a great effort by him.
1st and 10 now at the Sandpoint 42-yard line. We're down to 19 seconds to play in our opening quarter of action. Hansel Fotu hands off to Cottis. Cottis breaks a tackle, lowering the shoulder and taking it to the 34. So Cottis is able to rumble ahead for a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 when the second quarter begins. But after 1, it is Sandpoint 8, Alta 0. We will be back with the second quarter right after this on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Madison High School and Bobcat Stadium here on IdahoSports.com, site of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. Sandpoint leads Alta in our first game of the day, 8-0, as we get ready for the start of the second quarter of action. It will be Alta football, though, facing a 2nd down and 2 at the Sandpoint 34-yard line. And really, you know, they were facing a 3rd and long. They threw the 38-yard bomb to Flores. I've got baseball.
Yep.
I've got the baseball in the mind.
Yes.
Glaber Torres. Noah Flores came into the game with 8 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown. He is a deep threat for this Alta team. Sandpoint's going to have to keep an eye on him. They'll hand off to Cadiz off the left side this time, and Cadiz will be a yard shy of the first down. Started to the right, went back to the left, and actually on the carry for the first time today was Anson Jaramillo. So Jaramillo ends up getting a half a yard on the carry. It's still going to be 3rd down and 2.
This is the first 3rd and short that we've had today between the two teams. Alta's had 3rd and 9, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8 in their different plays. So, I mean, the playbook's wide open on this 4-down territory as well.
Well, they've got Cadiz, who's averaging about 2 yards per carry in the backfield as the deep back in this offset I formation. That's who they'll give it to, and Cadiz with the lean gets just enough for the first down. He had to stretch like Superman, and now, well, we'll see where they put it. I thought he got it. They may call for a measurement here.
No, I see inches by the side judge.
Yeah, okay.
Guess
Wow.
we'll see where they go.
4th and inches. Following the 2-yard gain. Sandpoint had a 4th and inches and did a QB sneak. Will Alta do the same? Hansel Fotu will hand off. Penalty flag comes in. Cadiz never really was touched. Just kind of fell forward. Got the first down, but a penalty flag came in right as the ball was snapped. So we'll have to see what the call is here. Leads me to think that it's going to be against the Hawks. Illegal formation, is that what they said?
Yep, illegal formation.
Okay. Again, our referees are mic'd up, which is nice. You know, we don't ever get that in any high school games. But the wind is blowing, so all you hear is whenever he turns on his mic to talk. So,
and this is an interesting situation for Alta. It looks like they're going to go for another field goal, but now the wind is with them, and so
oh yeah, this is
a much better opportunity for them to make it, even though it is a little bit of a longer range field goal for them.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a 55-yard field goal here, Dallin, and could be a fake as well because a 55-yard field goal would be pretty impressive. Eberhardt's going to let it fly, and it is short by about 3 yards. So kicking with the wind, 55-yard field goal try by Eberhardt. You know, this is going to hurt the old average for him, the old percentage, but boy, you know, he's put 2 pretty good kicks in. I mean, they're really long attempts, 43 yards and now 55.
Yep, and it looks like he definitely believed that he had the lay. You could tell. Maybe just didn't strike it as clean as he normally would.
You know, I used to think in terms of high school kicking, you know, 55 yards was out of the realm of possibility. And then I watched this guy named Ian Hershey last year for Highland. He's now at Idaho State. kicked a 58-yard field goal last year for the Rams. And, oh, by the way, the Highland Rams coming up in game number 3 today here at the Rocky Mountain Rumble. They will take on Lehigh. That's probably the best game on paper of the matchups today. Highland and Lehigh.
It's one I'm excited for.
So Sandpoint will take 1st and 10. Pettit will sling it in the flat. That is caught by Frank, tiptoeing the sidelines and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. A gain of 11 to Max Frank and a first down.
That's 2 screens we've seen that have been pretty productive for the Sandpoint offense. Obviously, the Alta defenders are rushing pretty deep into the box, and the screen game's wide open.
Yeah, Sandpoint's really good at just kind of taking what the defense gives them and not trying to force things too much. 1st and 10, Pettit sling it again in the flat to Frank, and Frank again will keep the legs churning and will take it out to the 37 for a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Hey, it worked the first time. Might as well go right back to it.
Same exact play.
No, actually put it up at the 37, so a gain of 7 to Frank. Brings up 2nd down and a long 3 here. And now a penalty flag. Sandpoint clapping like it's against Alta. We'll go ahead and get together and see what the call is. Encroachment. So 5-yard penalty. And since it was 2nd down and 3, it's an automatic first down. Well, not an automatic, but it becomes a first down because the yardage moved. 1st and 10 for Sandpoint. Ball now at the 42-yard line. We've got 9:28 to play here before halftime, and everybody bunched in tight here with Pettit under center. Inside handoff to Brewster, broke a tackle. Brewster to the 40, gets shoved ahead, and will finally be taken down at the 27-yard line. He got shoved from behind, and with the extra shove, ended up picking up about an extra 5 yards on the play, Dallin.
That was a very impressive run. He broke a few tackles, and with the wing tee, they shifted to the wing tee, and you never know what could happen in that. There's lots of different options, and the handoff off the middle really always seems to get a couple yards.
A 31-yard run for Cody Brewster, and meanwhile, an Alta player, Lenny Lapuaho, a little slow to get off the field, and Lapuaho able to walk off on his own power, which is great to see, but meanwhile, Sandpoint will get back to it 1st and 10 at the Alta 27-yard line. 9 minutes to play before halftime. Bulldogs up 8-0, looking for more. Pettit out of a pistol. Steps up. Penalty flag comes out. And a sack and a loss of 3. On the pressure for Alta that time was Tony Vainaku. Let me try that again. Tony Vayanuku.
That's better.
That's a little
better. By the end of this broadcast, we'll be on our way to Polynesian culture.
Yes, this roster for Alta will definitely challenge us today. So it's going to be a holding penalty against the offense. They will, instead of the sack by Vayanuku, they will take the penalty yardage here. It'll move it all the way back to the 40-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 23 now for Sandpoint. So there are a lot of penalties on the Bulldogs here in this opening half. It is their first game of the year, so. Pettit, backside screen, caught and dropped by Franks. So Max Frank had it, and I'm telling you, that was set up beautifully. Frank might still be running, but one of those where you're so open that you drop it.
Yep, and both of the screens that he had caught were just short little passes. That one was a little deeper. Maybe he had the end zone in mind.
First incompletion of the day for Parker Pettit. He started 4 of 5 for Sandpoint. Has aspirations of playing quarterback at the college level, and I think he's got the skill set to do it. 2nd and 10, handoff, no, yeah, it is, to Brewster. Breaks into the secondary, takes it to the 30, and brought down at the 29-yard line. And so Brewster is able to pick up 12 yards on the run, and now it's Only 3rd down and 12.
Definitely changes things. I mean, we might have seen another screen on 3rd down. Now it kind of opens up the offense a little bit more.
It does open it up a little more. You're right. 8:05 to play here before halftime. 3rd down and 12 for Sandpoint. They've got to get to the 23-yard line of Alta for the first down. Over on that Sandpoint sideline, they've got the signs that everybody holds up that signals the play. I see like the double gum logo. The Penn Quakers. Screen pass to Frank goes nowhere. Alta was ready that time, and on the tackle for the Hawks is Calvin Liava'a. So Liava'a makes the tackle. Frank ends up losing 2 yards. Now it's 4th down for Sandpoint. Looks like the offense will stay out there and go for it. But I see as Sandpoint's holding up these signs, I see the Denver Broncos logo, Idaho Vandals. I see a cartoon goldfish.
You know, that's one of the greatest things of the no-huddle offense is to see what signs teams can come up with. Maybe we can get a shot of that later. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
4th down and 14. Pettit over the middle for Frank. Too high, incomplete. Bulldogs turn it over on downs. Not a bad thought, just a little high for Max Frank, and the Alta defense holds with 7:03 to play here before halftime.
Yeah, it looked like Frank wasn't able to get into his route as fast as he wanted to. It was a good play by the Alta defense, and maybe it knocked off the rhythm of Pettit a little bit because obviously he wanted to go to his guy Frank in that moment.
So now Alta will get the ball back here with 7:03 to play before halftime. Game 1 of 4 today. Up next, we'll have the Pocatello Thunder against the Morgan Trojans. Our 5 o'clock game will feature the Lehigh Pioneers against the Highland Rams. And then the nightcap, the Tooele Buffaloes against our hosts, the Madison Bobcats. Rocky Mountain Rumble. Utah teams went 3-1 against Idaho schools yesterday. Minico, the only team to win. They beat Beaver 24-14. And Dallin, you were telling me your wife is from Paul, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, I was telling Dallin yesterday during the Minico broadcast that, or maybe it was Josh. Yeah, I was telling Josh during the broadcast. You know, Minico stands for Minidoka County, and it's the high school's in Rupert, but they pull students from Hayburn and Paul, and there's one other town. I can't remember what the other one is, or is there another one? And Rupert. Okay. And Josh had no idea what I was talking about. He was like, oh.
Josh, not an Idahoan.
1st and 5 after that penalty. Alta rolling out at the last moment. Hansel Fotu lets it go. I don't think his receiver was really expecting the ball. Intended receiver was Jace Turner that time. Ends up incomplete. And again, that Bulldog pass rush has been heavy in this first half.
And Hansel Fotu, he's gotten into space a couple times and it seems like he still is ready to throw. That's been good. I wonder if there will come a point in this game where he just decides to tuck it and run we're still at 0 for them. How long will it take before he tries to get into space and maybe makes a couple defenders miss?
Yeah, 16 carries for 70 yards coming into today's game. Another penalty flag here with 6:42 to go before halftime. False start on the offense.
I think it was an illegal substitution, actually.
Could be.
It sounded more like so.
How was that again? Can I get that?
Well, I'll bring it back at some point.
Okay. 2nd and 10 following that 5-yard illegal substitution penalty. Low snap. Hansel Fotu picks it up off the turf. Now will take off and run. The 35 and slips out of bounds around the 39-yard line. That was Levi Ballison forcing him out. And they'll mark him out back at the 37. So that is a scramble of 7 yards for Bronco Hansel Fotu.
I have to say, for the best name, that might be up there in the games we've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Matiaki Helu.
That was a good one. We also said it about 100 times last night in the Stansbury game.
We sure did. Stansbury put up 68 points against Skyline in that 68-42 win. High snap! Oh, no, the running back, Cottis, has got to pick it up. He's going to try and run with it and will be brought down at the 19-yard line. That is a loss of 26. for Cottis. 4th down and really long now for the Hawks. Just a high snap that went over Hansel Fotu's head, and it was actually the running back in the pistol, Cottis, who had to go pick it up.
Last time that we saw Alta deep in their own territory, the punt was not very good. We'll see if they're able to get a better punt off this time.
Well, yeah, both punts from Alta have been adventurous today because Sandpoint muffed the first one, and then the second one just came off the foot, kind of in a weird direction. This one is a great one. It rolls past the return man, and it will be picked up at the 5-yard line and brought down at the 6. A textbook punt from Alta. And again, Joe Bohannick, there was a lot of speed. There wasn't a lot of air. That was more of a line drive kick. And so Bohannick, I think, was expecting to pick it up off the bounce, but when it bounced, it came with such velocity that it went shooting past him.
And Eberhardt has been doing more of a rugby-style kick where he's been rolling to his right to punt it. That time he just punted it straight up, let the wind carry it, let the turf continue to push it, and, the field literally flipped from basically 7 to 7.
Yeah, we've had some interesting special teams stuff going on in this first game, day 2 of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. 5:30 to play before halftime. 8-0 Sandpoint lead. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 7-yard line. See what kind of drive Pettit and company can put together here. Handoff. Right side goes nowhere. Alta ready defensively, and on the carry that time for the Bulldogs was like Max Frank, actually, was in the backfield and took that handoff. So Frank loses a yard on the carry. 2nd and 11 for Sandpoint. Ball back at their own 6. Pettit out of a shotgun just outside his end zone. Sweep for Brewster. Nice cut back up to the middle. And Brewster will take it out to the 9 for a gain of 4 to make it 3rd down and 8. It was a nice job by Brewster. It was a sweep, and then he recognized the defense and cut back to the middle of the field.
When you're this deep in your own territory, any positive yardage makes a difference because obviously you don't want to have to punt, but if you get there, you don't want your punter standing in the back of his end zone.
4:25 to play here before halftime. 3rd down and 8. Pettit, low snap, has it. Has time, throws a curl route. Incomplete. Well read that time by Flores. Was all over Max Frank, and that was well defended.
Flores has been impressive on both sides of the ball so far. He's maybe shadowing Frank now. I haven't paid much attention to where he's been on the field every play, but something to note because he hasn't been able to connect with Frank on his last 2 throws.
And now Flores will be back to return the Alta punt along with Lalo Tafisi. Jacob Gove will punt from his own end zone here for Sandpoint with 4:17 to play in our opening half of action. On the ground, back to Gove. Gove has to rush the kick, and this punt doesn't go far. Takes an Alta bounce, out of bounds at the 16-yard line of Sandpoint. So that snap came back on the ground. Gove, obviously you don't want a punt blocked in your own end zone for a touchdown or a safety, so he just rushed the kick, and because of that, didn't go very far.
I was a little worried he put his knee down right when he caught it, too, and that would have been catastrophic. That would have been a safety where he was in his end zone. So, getting the ball out, and now you got to trust your defense. They've been pretty good so far.
This is how Sandpoint scored their only touchdown. A 4-yard run by Joseph Hughes and a 2-point conversion run by Jack Zimmerman came after a bad Alta punt that gave Sandpoint the ball at the 15. Almost identical situation. Now Alta has it at the 16. Can the Hawks take advantage, though? With 4:07 to play before halftime. Hansel Fotu out of the shotgun. Will sling it in the flat, has a man wide open. That is Jace Turner, and Turner will take it for a gain of a couple, and then 5 Bulldogs are in there on the tackle. Leading the charge initially was Graham Dunkel. So that pass ends up going for 3 to make it 2nd and 7.
Sandpoint has done a lot of what they call gang tackling, where it's not just a single man tackling the defender or just two people. They've made sure the whole team is merging towards the ball carrier, and it's been effective so far.
They're well coached. Ryan Knowles, the Sandpoint coach, does a great job with this team. 2nd and 7, Hansel Fotu, a bullet to the end zone, caught for the Alta, touchdown. Who else but Noah Flores?
Excellent route by Flores right there, as he put himself in a position where he was wide open. Easy throw for Hansel Fotu.
So a 14-yard touchdown from Bronco Hansel Fotu to Noah Flores. And now does Alta go for 2 to try and tie it? Looks like they're going to have the kicking team out.
It's very rare that we have a game that there's not somebody running in late to join the field goal unit.
Yeah, but for Alta, it's their 3rd game. Like, that shouldn't be happening still. Lincoln Eberhardt for the point after. Drills it. So 8-7, Sandpoint with the lead. Here in the second quarter, 3:26 to play in the period. We'll take a break. Come on back with more North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble right after this on IdahoSports.com.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Welcome back to Madison High School's Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg on a kind of cooler Saturday afternoon. Brandon Baney with Dallin Fryer inside the booth. Josh McGauley on camera as Sandpoint leads Alta 8-7. The Hawks get a touchdown, though, on a 14-yard pass from Bronco Hansel Fotu to Noah Flores.
You'll get Noah Flores' name right at some point during this game.
Put some respect on his name. He has been pretty amazing. Plays offense, defense, and special teams. Sandpoint return by Max Frank from the 1. And Frank, wow, carries the pile all the way to the 25-yard line. That was just a massive humanity there, and Frank somehow got everybody to take the ball to the 25-yard line with him.
Yeah, Frank's a big boy, 6'1", 205, and I mean, I dare say he looks a little bit bigger than 205 when he's carrying the ball.
You know, I was talking earlier in the broadcast about Ari Vandenberg, the wide receiver, who's a great basketball player for Sandpoint, but you know, the winter sport where Sandpoint really excels is wrestling. A lot of these football guys wrestle as well, and the Bulldogs are always a tough 4A squad up north on the mats. 1st and 10 for Sandpoint from their own 25. Everybody munched in tight here with 3:18 to play before halftime. Counter play into the secondary. Max Frank has one man to beat. The 40, the 30, and finally brought down at the 28-yard line. That is a 52-yard run and a Sandpoint first down.
Frank has literally covered the whole field because he had the kick return from the goal line essentially all the way down to this 30. He is for real.
Yeah, he has. He's taken the ball from the 1 to the 29-yard line of Alta. Very impressive. Now Sandpoint was in the spread. Now they'll go under center with 2:40 and counting before halftime. Hand off to Brewster this time. Brewster bounces to the outside. Brewster has the corner and will be shoved out. Well, they'll say he stepped out back at the 14-yard line. But regardless, that is a gain of 15 and another Sandpoint first down.
And we're starting to see them go to the wing tee more often. I wonder if if this is an adjustment that we're going to see throughout the rest of this quarter.
Yeah, because they'll line up in the spread, and then based upon what they're seeing from the Alta defense, Pettit will call an audible, and everybody will shift. 1st and 10 from the Alta 13-yard line. Man in motion is Vandenberg. He's now in the slot at the bottom of your screen. Pettit, rollout, pitches it to Brewster inside the 10, and not much more than that as 3 Hawks shove him out of bounds. Leading the charge was Tony Vayanuku.
This is a big possession. Only 2:24 on the clock in the second quarter. Really need to punch the ball in the end zone if you're Sandpoint. If you're Alta, I mean, it could be a short field goal attempt if they're able to hold them here, but, I mean, you're still kicking into the wind, and that we've seen that being unpredictable throughout all the games so far.
Well, this is important, too, because we're down to 2:05 to play before halftime, and Sandpoint will receive the ball to – no. Sandpoint received the ball to start the game. That's right. So Alta will get the ball to start the second half. So this is an important drive for Sandpoint. They would love to get points here, so much so that they will spend their second timeout to talk things over. 1:53 to go before halftime. Sandpoint leading Alta 8-7, facing a 2nd and 7 from the Hawks' 10-yard line. We'll be back right after this break on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Back at the Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Baney with Dallin Fryer. And I mistakenly said before we went to the break that Sandpoint will kick off to start the second half. Sandpoint will actually receive. Dallin very rudely pointed that out to me in the commercial break. So.
I tried to keep it off air just in case, you know.
You know what? I like that you're keeping it behind closed doors. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 7 for Sandpoint from the Alta 10. They're going to run straight ahead across the 5, down to the 4. And on the carry that time for the Bulldogs was Max Frank. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 for Frank after the 5-yard run. Ball is right at the 5-yard line. They've got to get to the 3 to pick up the first down, and we're down to 1:20 to play in the half. Pettit under center gives to Frank, and Frank will get the first down, but nothing more. Shoved back by several Alta defenders. Moses Miley was the first guy in there leading the charge. But Frank did get enough for the first down, so it'll be 1st and goal now from the 3-yard line with 1 minute to go before halftime.
Last time they went to Hughes in this situation, and he was able to punch the ball in the end zone.
And Hughes is the back on the right hip of Pettit out of the shotgun here. They fake to Hughes, and Pettit goes right up the middle for the Bulldogs touchdown. An extra shoving after the play will earn a penalty flag as well. That touchdown should stand, though, and what a beautifully designed play fake, because you're right. Hughes, the only time he's carried the ball was right at the goal line. Alta saw that. They gave it to Hughes on the fake. Everybody bit, and that allowed Pettit to take it 3 yards for the touchdown.
And I don't think we've seen Pettit keep the ball in that zone read throughout this contest at all. I think that was the first time.
So now some confusion. It was a personal foul penalty, and I saw a Sandpoint and Alta player both tied up in it, and some confusion over which side that was called on. So it was against Sandpoint, and I believe it was on Carson Laybourne, the All-State offensive lineman. Meanwhile, point after try here for Jacob Gove, so that 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. And Gove bangs it through, so 15-7. Sandpoint with 45 seconds to go here before halftime. We'll just go ahead and keep it right here. And We talked about yesterday, Utah teams went 3-1 against Idaho schools. Our first game, South Summit beat Marsh Valley 47-13. Then it was Layton over Lewiston 41-28. Then Minico beat Beaver 24-14. And then the nightcap, that game took like 3.5 hours last night, Dallin.
Exactly. Exactly 3.5 hours.
Skyline and Stansbury wins 68-42.
That was as impressive of an offense as I've ever witnessed in person in high school football. It felt like an offense was playing against like an Alabama was playing against like a Colgate. But that problem was, or the difference was that Skyline was scoring just as much as well.
Yeah, no, Skyline.
Just a couple mistakes cost them.
Skyline's no Colgate. That's disrespectful to Grizz Nation.
They're offensive wise.
It was like Texas Tech was playing Baylor and
fair in 2013.
And Baylor just fell behind a little bit. Skyline scored 42 points. Against Idaho teams, a lot of nights that's going to be enough to win.
If you're a Skyline fan, you have nothing to hang your head about with that game. That you've got the back-to-back champs back.
That's right. Going to be a pooch kick here from Sandpoint, taken by the up back at the 40, and then he kind of just recognizes the situation and falls forward at the 45-yard line. Nicely done that time by Mason Taula, sophomore running back. So Taula falls, and I don't know. It's interesting, the squib kick, because now 43 seconds to go before halftime. Alta still has all 3 timeouts, and they're starting a drive at their own 45-yard line. They're in great field position.
That 15-yard penalty after the touchdown really could come back to bite Sandpoint here. I mean, again, kicking into the wind, maybe they were worried about one getting lost. I'm not sure. Especially we've seen Flores get out into space. It's been a connection with Hansel Fotu effectively throughout this afternoon.
Hansel Fotu looking for Jace Turner in the slot. Turner makes the grab to the Sandpoint 30. That is a gain of 22 and a first down. And now Alta going to spend their first timeout here with 32 seconds to play before halftime. 15-7 Sandpoint lead, but Alta is on the move. So Alta, it's been interesting. That first game of the year they played Layton and lost 16-9. The only points in the first quarter of the season opener came from an Alta safety. So it was 2-0 Alta after a quarter, and then Layton said, all right, enough of that. And again, Alta was close. They closed the gap late, but fell behind 16-2 and couldn't make up the deficit and lost 16-9. And then it was the opposite. Last week, Alta scored the first 20 points of the game against Westlake, and then they had to hold off a Westlake rally at the end. So they've done it both ways so far. One resulted in a win, one resulted in a loss.
Yeah, and I mean, if the game's close, you never know what can happen. I mean, they might be a second-half team, and we'll have to see if they're able to punch it in, takes momentum into the second half.
So it's going to be a deep throw to the end zone for Flores and an Alta touchdown. A 30-yard bomb to Flores, and we are a 2-point conversion away from a tie.
What a ball by Hansel Fotu. Hit Flores perfectly. The defender from Sandpoint was not able to really get a gauge on where the ball was, and it was set basically right on top of his helmet. Flores, strong hands in the end zone, leading to 6.
Second time today, Hansel Fotu is hooked up with Flores, and again, Alta going to put the extra point team out there. Try and bring the deficit to within 1 with 27 seconds to go here before halftime. Eberhardt's kick misses wide left. The hold was kind of funky, never got down, and so Eberhardt misses, and I think this is the score we all saw at the end of the first half, 15-13, right, guys?
It's a very common football score.
Yeah, 15-13. That happens a lot. While we wrap our head around those numbers, we'll take a break and come back with more North Idaho Game Night and the Rocky Mountain Rumble right after this on IdahoSports.com.
no matter what life holds. We'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
.27 seconds to go before halftime, and Alta scores fairly quickly off of the great field position following the short kickoff, the penalty-assisted short kickoff from Sandpoint. 30-yard touchdown pass from Bronco Hansel Fotu to Noah Flores. That kick goes into the parking lot, and it went over the top of that vehicle. I thought the football was going to smash into somebody's roof, but it took a bounce on the sidewalk and went perfectly over the length of the car.
Eberhardt might not have been very happy that he missed that PAT. He might have taken a little extra anger out on that football.
I think that's the first kick we've seen leave the playing field and go into the parking lot. Pretty impressive. Last night, Caden Taggart from Skyline caught a touchdown, and his momentum took him all the way to that fence. He almost flipped over it like a baseball player making a catch.
Sometimes when you're too fast, it's hard to stop. We don't really have that problem, but some people do.
Right. And then that led to a spirited discussion about The Blind Side and Sandra Bullock and all sorts of fun stuff. I mean, that's what you have to do when it's a 68-42 game. You run out of things to talk about. So nothing, no time to fill here. We've had plenty of nonstop action. Sandpoint will kneel on it and head to the locker room with a 15-13 lead over the Alta Hawks. So a pretty good first half of action. We'll recap it all for you and have the first half stats as well. When we come back with the halftime show, you're watching North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
It is halftime here at Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg, Madison High School on a beautiful Saturday. Brandon Bainey with Dallin Fryer and Josh McGauley here on IdahoSports.com. And at halftime, kind of an odd score, but 15-13. Sandpoint with a 2-point lead over Alta. This has been a first half really dominated by the two defenses.
Yeah, they both definitely come to play today, and both teams kind of able to strike when the opponent made mistakes. That I would say that was the big theme of the half. Alta being able to capitalize on a big penalty at the end of the first half. Sandpoint able to score after a really bad punt. Same thing for Alta. Their other touchdown came off of a punt that was affected by the wind. It's really been an interesting half, but a fun one to watch, and it's been competitive.
Yeah, and so as we take a look at the first half scoring summary, you're right, Dallin. It was a lot of weird special teams in that first half of action. It started with Alta getting the ball and going 3 and out on offense, but on the ensuing punt by the Hawks, the punt was muffed by Sandpoint's return man, Joe Bohannock. He muffed the punt. Alta recovered, and from there, Alta's drive deep in Sandpoint territory stalls out. They bring in Lincoln Eberhardt for a 43-yard field goal try into the wind. It was short and wide left and not really close. And, I mean, you had to know, kicking into the wind, that was going to be really hard from 43 yards out. Missed the field goal. Sandpoint gets the ball back. The two teams trade punts at that point. And then right before the end of the first quarter, Alta is punting from their own end zone and just didn't strike it very well. The Eberhardt didn't, and the punt traveled, I believe you said, -9 yards. It actually rolled back for negative yardage. Sandpoint had the ball at the 15, and from there, Joseph Hughes punches it in on a 4-yard touchdown run. And then Sandpoint lines up for the 2-point conversion. I mean, they line up for the PAT, but it's in the swinging gate formation where, there's 3 or 4 players away from the rest of the line, and nobody came out to cover, and so they snapped the ball to Jack Zimmerman, and he ran it in for 2, and it was 8-0 Sandpoint at the end of 1. On to the second quarter now, where Alta, this time kicking with the wind, brought out Eberhardt for a 55-yard field goal try that was, maybe 3 yards short. He struck it really well, just didn't quite get enough. That led to Sandpoint getting the ball back, but Sandpoint couldn't do anything on their possession. They give it back to Alta. Alta finally scores on a 14-yard touchdown pass from Bronco Hansel Fotu to Noah Flores. Eberhardt's kick was good to make it 15-7 with just, 8-7 with just 3:26 to play before halftime. Sandpoint's ensuing drive. They march it down the field, mostly on the running of Max Frank, right? He had a big kickoff return and then a big run. And from there, Sandpoint gets it down to the 4-yard line, or to the 3-yard line where Parker Pettit runs it in on a QB keeper. Jacob Gove's kick was good, 15-7 Sandpoint with just 45 seconds to play before halftime. But on that touchdown run by Pettit, Carson Laybourne of Sandpoint whistled for a personal foul penalty, a little extracurricular blocking after the play was over. So Sandpoint had to kick off from their own 35. They didn't want to kick deep against the wind to Flores, who's a dynamic return man, so they squib kicked it. That gave Alta the ball at the 45-yard line of Sandpoint, and from there, Alta was able to pretty shortly put together a touchdown drive right before the end of the half, a 30-yard touchdown from Hansel Fotu to Flores for the second time. Eberhardt's PAT, though, the snap was bad. The hold never got straight up and down, and so Eberhardt pushed it wide left, not really his fault. And so that's where we are, 15-13. Kind of a weird first half, but in a weird way, it was actually a really good half of football in terms of, watching and excitement.
And on both sides of the ball, we have one player from each team that has been really effective. Flores for Alta has been the go-to guy. Frank from Sandpoint has been the go-to guy on their side. I'm sure adjustments will be made at halftime to try to minimize both guys. But these guys are athletes, and they're their best options on offense. I wouldn't be surprised if they find ways to continue to get them the ball.
So let's take a look at the first half stats here. We will start with the Alta Hawks, minus 18 yards rushing in that first half. Now it's mostly because of a big sack and then a couple of high snaps. But boy, minus 18 yards rushing. That's pretty good for the Sandpoint defense. 57 yards passing for Alta, which gives them a grand total of 39 yards of total offense in the first half. Sandpoint much better. 152 yards on the ground, 34 yards through the air, 186 yards of total offense. So nearly tripling the yardage output of Alta. 186-39 is Sandpoint, and yet they're still only up by 2.
And it feels like it's been Anybody that's been watching, the ball's been moving. It's just been moving in different ways. Sandpoint's had a lot of penalties in the first half, and that's really what kind of has made the difference for Alta being able to move the ball down the field. Obviously, they've been trying to rush the ball in the early downs, but the big, deep ball has been working the last few possessions. I wonder if that's something they go to as well.
Yeah, Sandpoint hasn't really tried to hit a home run, so to speak. They've been happy with singles and doubles, so we'll see if that changes. Individual stats at halftime. For Alta, the rushing numbers. The leading rusher is Anson Jaramillo, 1 carry for 0 yards. The other two guys, Bronco Hansel Fotu, 2 carries for -8 yards. Anthony Cottis, 9 carries for -10 yards. Now, again, a lot of that came on that high snap that Cottis had to go retreat and grab for a negative 16-yard loss. So those are the rushing numbers. Passing, Hansel Fotu, 7 of 12 in the first half for 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. Noah Flores, 2 catches. He's made them count. Both have gone for touchdowns. 2 catches, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. After that, it is Jace Turner, 2 catches for 25 yards. Anthony Cottis, the running back, has 1 catch for 8 yards. And then it is Lalo Tafisi, 2 catches for -1 yard. For Sandpoint, leading rusher is Cody Brewster, 7 carries for 69 yards. Max Frank right behind, 4 carries for 58 yards. And, of course, it's the 2 vultures that have the touchdowns. Joseph Hughes, 2 carries, 5 yards and a touchdown. Parker Pettit, 3 carries, 10 yards and a touchdown. Brewster and Frank are going, what the heck, guys? Come on. Pettit, 5 of 8 passing for 34 yards. Frank has been his main target, 3 catches for 16 yards. Brewster has 1 catch for 10 yards, and Ari Vandenberg, 1 catch for 8 yards. So, again, kind of an interesting first half, but the one thing has been Sandpoint has been excellent at running the ball, and they've been really good at stopping the Alta run. And those were 2 tenets of Sandpoint last year. They were really good at running the ball, really good at stopping the opposing team's run.
I feel like Sandpoint, other than the penalties, they have to feel really encouraged going into this half. Alta, maybe not feeling so good other than the big play to end the half. They haven't had a lot of things work. Even those possessions where they were able to get a stop eventually, that was encouraging, but the ball's still moving down the field. The clock's still running. Maybe adjustments need to be made on both sides, and I wouldn't expect anything but a close game. Alta's been in a couple close games this year. Sandpoint, first game of the year. And I think it's what coaches want as well, is to have a competitive game.
So at halftime, it is Sandpoint in front of Alta, 15-13. We'll step aside for another break and come back with the third quarter here on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble right after this on IdahoSports.com.
Dad knew how to cut a rug. And thanks to him, so did I. It's the same at Mountain West Bank. When it comes to banking, they guide me through every step. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I got COVID in October 2020, and 3 weeks later, I started having long-term problems. I used to be able to dance all day, but now just getting up gives me chest pain, and I can't comprehend words at times. This has honestly been a very scary journey. I'm telling my long COVID story because I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Getting vaccinated against COVID-19 is the best way to prevent long COVID.
Welcome back to Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg, Madison High School. Brandon Baney with Dallin Fryer and Josh McGauley on camera here for game number 1 of 4. Dallin, are you ready for 4 more football games today? Really now 3.5, right?
Yeah, let's not say 4. Let's say 3.5. It's great, though. I love it. Football's back.
Football's back. All right, and now we're going. It is a short kickoff against the wind. Taken by Sandpoint on the return, out to the 35-yard line. That's Cody Brewster. Not the deepest line of the return team, but Brewster, he knows what to do with the ball in his hands. Had a great first half run in the rock for Sandpoint. And Bulldogs up 15-13 as we start the third quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 36-yard line.
And we saw a lot of under center wing T formations towards the end of the second quarter. Might have been just to melt the clock a little bit. We'll see if it's something they continue to do in the second half.
Yeah, they would start in that spread formation and then adjust to the wing T. Pettit, feeling the heat, will take off and run and will lose a yard. Coming up to make the stop for the Hawks that time was Joshua Barraza. So Barraza, the defensive back, comes up and makes the stop. And it will be a loss of a yard for Parker Pettit. So 2nd and 11 now for the Bulldogs. 11:30 to play here in the third. Pettit floats it on a screen for Brewster, but it was well read and well defended by Tony Vianuku. He's been all over the place for Alta today. Vianuku, that is no gain on the screen to Brewster.
Yeah, Alta coming out with fire in the second half.
Sandpoint facing a 3rd and 11 now from their own 35-yard line. Hard count nearly gets Alta to jump. That's the linebacker Tate Medina who came charging in. And Pettit ready now. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Single receiver at the bottom is Frank. Pettit looking that way. Pettit taking a deep shot. Has Frank alone. It is caught and then dropped. Oh, Frank hauled it in on the dive. And then as he hit the turf at the 30-yard line, the ball came shooting out. Oh, tough luck for Max Frank.
Yeah, the battle of Frank and now I got to get his name right, Flores, on the outside has been pretty even, and looked like Frank was going to get the upper hand there when he passed him, but not able to come up with the ball. Maybe the wind pushed it just a little deep.
Yeah, and Frank was wide open. He blew past Flores. 4th down, low snap. Gove gets off a good punt considering he had to pick it up off the turf. That will take a Sandpoint bounce. We'll roll inside the 15 and we'll be downed at the 11-yard line. The way the wind's going, this just feels like one of those games where special teams is going to be really important. And for Alta, they will have the wind at their backs in the 4th quarter, which could be important.
Well, and we've seen from Eberhardt, they're not afraid to put him out there. And if this game stays close, they clearly have belief in him. He's had a couple long attempts that haven't gone right. You put him a little bit closer, I think with the wind, he's definitely a target to play a big part throughout the rest of this game.
They brought him out for a 55-yard attempt. They obviously feel good about his abilities. Right now, though, it's the Alta offense trying to take the lead. Alta has not led at any point in this game so far today. Hansel Fotu in trouble. Nearly a safety, is able to get it out. And now a broken tackle and an opportunity and a big hit delivered at the end. On the reception was Jackson Tawala. And laying the lumber down for Sandpoint was Kyron Riddle. So after all of that, a screen pass from his own end zone. Hansel Fotu is nearly brought down for a safety. That is a completion of -4 yards to Tawala. Second and 14, again out of his own end zone. Hansel Fotu at the last moment slings, and a slide and a catch made. Now they'll say, no, he trapped it. And a penalty flag comes out as well. Boy, a lot going on here. So Hansel Fotu, I thought, could have taken off and easily run for the first down. He decides to sling it downfield to Jace Turner. Turner appears to slide and make the grab. Official comes in and says, no, he trapped it. And then I think a Sandpoint player came in and said one of those 7 magic words and got a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. There you go.
From 3rd and long to back to an automatic first down past the 20, that hurts for Sandpoint.
Yeah, and he did identify the player. I think they flagged Shane Sherrill there. I don't quote me on that. Number 20 is what I think he said.
I believe so, yes.
Unusual. Typically in high school games, they don't identify the player that committed the foul like it's the NFL, but that time he said number 20, Shane Sherrill. So 1st and 10 for Alta following the penalty. Hansel Fotu has time, delivers high, incomplete. Looking for Turner again on that far sideline. Actually, that was Flores, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and good coverage by Kobe Barlow over there. Flores, not an easy guy to cover.
This is a Sandpoint defense that last year was very strong. I mean, they held some high-octane offenses. Of course, everyone remembers their overtime thriller against Blackfoot in the semifinals where Sandpoint went for 2 in overtime and got it on a run by Garrett Cox. That took them to the championship. Quarterback draw for Hansel Fotu into the secondary, the 40, and knocked out right at the 40-yard line. So Hansel Fotu dances his way for a gain of 18 and a first down.
We've been waiting for him to finally take one, and a designed quarterback run on that play, and he shows off his legs.
9:08 to play here in the third. (15-13). Sandpoint leads by 2. But it's Alta on the move. Handoff up the middle. Cottis across the 50 to the Sandpoint 48 and a gain of 12 and a first down.
And I believe that puts Cottis out of red numbers, right? Back in the positive rushing yards department.
Yes, he had minus 10 yards at halftime, and with that 12-yard run, he's now up to 2.
With that run, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to give the ball to him, though. That's his best run of the day by far.
Easily. I mean, his previous long was 2. Today's game brought to you by the number 2. Here's Cottis taking it again for 10 yards and another Alta first down. So, yeah, you're right. Cottis all of a sudden has really started to pick it up, and we've got an injured Alta Hawk down on the field. So while they attend to him, we'll go ahead and take a break here. We're at 8:34 to play in the third. 15-13, Sandpoint leading, but Alta threatening. And we'll be back right after this on, we'll keep it right here, actually, as they're going to help the player up off the field. That is one of Alta's offensive linemen, Taliafi Ta'ala. I think they call him Tali for short. Tali Ta'ala. And able to walk off the field and head to the sideline. We hope Ta'ala is okay. And I mean, he's a big dude. 6'7", 290 pounds.
That's a big guy. It's good to see him walk off because you don't always see the big guys being able to walk off on their own power when injuries happen.
Yes. 1st and 10. Alta gonna sling it. That is caught right at the first down marker. And on the reception is Lalo Tafisi, his second grab. It goes for 9. It's going to be 2nd and 1. And all of a sudden, this Alta offense looking like the Buffalo Bills out there.
And they're sharing the wealth around as well. We haven't even called Flores' name on this drive, and they're moving the ball.
They've got Sandpoint on their heels a little bit here. 2nd and 1. Ball at the Bulldogs' 29-yard line. Hansel Fotu going to sling it. Incomplete. Trying to go to Turner on the out route.
And, we've seen the adjustment that they have started to throw the ball a lot more on this drive compared to what they were doing in the first half.
So it's now 3rd and 1 for Alta. 7:37 to play in the third. Cottis is the back. We'll see if he gets the rock here on 3rd and a yard. They fake to Cottis. Hansel Fotu gets brought down in the backfield. Textbook tackle from Sandpoint's Owen Wimmer. Brings down Hansel Fotu for a loss of 5.
That's just great execution of a coaching strategy. You always have your assignments on those zone read type of plays, and he didn't back down. It's not easy to tackle Hansel Fotu in the open field, and Wimmer did so.
Offense going to go for it here on 4th and 5. Ball is at the Sandpoint 33-yard line. Hansel Fotu back to pass, feeling the heat, stepping up, and is able to slide for the first down. And Hansel Fotu takes exception to Wes Benefield of Sandpoint coming on at the end of the play. Hansel Fotu says, hey, I was sliding and gave myself up. Benefield says, hey, sorry, I'm running full head of steam and I can't stop on a dime, so all's well that ends well. That's a 5-yard run on 4th and 5 for Hansel Fotu. And again, it looked like Sandpoint was going to be able to get Fotu in the backfield, and then the left tackle came through with a huge block to spring Fotu loose. 1st and 10 from the Sandpoint 26, going to the end zone. A diving attempt that just falls out of the reach of Turner. Turner had it, and then as he went to the ground, he lost it. And Alta going for the home run there, just missed. So 6:18 to play in the third now. 15-13. You feel like the momentum has swung Alta's direction here.
And they put together a pretty decent drive with time of possession as well. It's been 4 or 5 minutes on the clock that they've taken off. It's been a steady diet of mix between run and pass.
2nd and 10 for Alta from Sandpoint's 26. Hansel Fotu again going for the deep shot for Turner. Broken up, and a penalty flag comes in. It looks like they're going to get Sandpoint for pass interference here. The cover man was Jack Zimmerman, and Zimmerman trying to say, hey, he was pulling on me. And the officials are going to talk about it here. This could be one that goes either way. We'll see. All right, defensive pass interference on Sandpoint. And that'll give Alta the ball at it'll be half the distance to the goal. They'll move it to the 14-yard line of Sandpoint. I'll tell you what, the Alta fans are making a lot of noise over there on that far sideline. Despite Sandy, Utah being much closer to Rexburg than Sandpoint, more Sandpoint people here today. So Bulldog Nation, way to go. Sandpoint had to make the second longest trip of anybody here. Lewiston had to make the furthest. Hansel Fotu going to take off and run inside the 10, inside the 5. Tiptoes out of bounds right at the 5-yard line. Gain of 8, 2nd and short.
Hansel Fotu, he seems to be very aware of not getting hit. He's gone to the sideline. He's slid. He's not looking to lower his shoulder when he's running. He's looking to use his speed to get outside. We do see him limping off the field, though, right here.
So Hansel Fotu comes up a little gingerly on that play. And he will check out. So this is something to definitely to watch and monitor. And now it'll be Kepa Niamato. Kepa Niamatolo Tolu. We'll work on that.
We'll work on it.
He's a freshman, backup quarterback, and timeout now. And for my sake of pronunciations, hopefully that's going to allow Hansel Fotu to come back in. Oh, they're going to call a delay of game, so Alta's going to keep the timeout. So we were asking one of the Alta coaches before the game, hey, how do you say everybody's names? And we got to Kepa, and he goes, he's probably not going to play. You're not going to have to, because he's a backup quarterback, freshman, and you never know. You're one injury away from playing. And so Kepa Niamatolu.
That sounded great. That was well done.
So it is Niamatolu, the freshman in at quarterback for Alta. Big spot here. Facing a 2nd down and 6 from the Sandpoint 9-yard line. Pass incomplete anyways, and now it's 3rd and 9. Niamatolu throws incomplete. It's now 3rd and 9, and now a Sandpoint player is injured. They're dropping like flies out here. Graham Dunkel is the injured Bulldog. Well, we'll take a break. I'm going to get my tongue untwisted and see if I can come back and master the English language a little better. 5:59 to play in the third. 15-13 Sandpoint, but Alta threatening at the Sandpoint 9. We'll be back right after this on IdahoSports.com.
Because you already give them something money can't buy. We'll help with everything else, no matter what life holds. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Out of the injury timeout, Graham Dunkel able to get off the field for Sandpoint. We hope he's all right. Meanwhile, Bronco Hansel Fotu has checked back in at quarterback for Alta in place of Kepa Niamataholu. Hansel Fotu to the end zone, incomplete. Nice coverage provided by Sandpoint's Shane Sherrill that time. And now it's 4th down. It is 4th down and 6 at the Sandpoint 9. They can pick up the first down without scoring a touchdown here, but they're going to opt for the field goal and the potential first lead of the day. So this will be a 26-yard field goal try for Lincoln Eberhardt. He is 0 for 2 so far today. He's missed from 43 and 55. I mean, compared to 43 and 55, 26 is a walk in the park. He is kicking against the wind, though. This for the lead with 5:50 to play in the third. Eberhardt drills it. 16-15, Alta. And again, this is all a score we saw coming, right, guys? 16-15 sounds about right. So Alta leads for the first time today with 5:50 to play in the third. We'll be back right after this break. You're watching North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Back at Bobcat Stadium, campus of Madison High School in Rexburg, 2nd year in a row. The host facility for the Rocky Mountain Rumble. After so many years, it was in Holt Arena. And I was talking to a good friend last night of IdahoSports.com, and he's telling me, I remember the very first Rumble watching Taysom Hill playing for the Highland Rams. And, of course, Taysom Hill now is in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints. And it's really been fun to track the history of this great event here in Idaho. 16-15, Alta leads for the first time today on a 26-yard field goal from Lincoln Eberhardt. Eberhardt's had a rough go of it. He's had a couple of missed field goals. He's had a PAT missed because of a bad snap and hold. He had a punt kind of go off the side of his foot. And just when he thinks, all right, I made a field goal, things are finally looking up for old Lincoln Eberhardt. The ball blows off the tee on the kickoff. He'll try it again, and pretty well struck again into the wind. Not bad to the 11-yard line, where it will be returned out to the 25 for Sandpoint. That was Shane Sherrill on the return. So now Sandpoint, who's led the whole way until now, trails 16-15. If you're Sandpoint coach Ryan Knowles, what are you telling your team here?
Well, I mean, you just got to get back to the basics. The run has been working really well. Last possession didn't work out the way that they wanted it to out of the half, but, I mean, you've got your guys, and ride them.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They went 3 and out on their first possession of this third quarter. Pettit. Bootleg, play action, has all day, going to throw it deep for Max Frank and just overshoots him, incomplete. I'm telling you, there were 3 Bulldog receivers wide open, which is amazing because there were 3 Alta defenders in the neighborhood, but he could have taken his choice of any player there. A penalty flag right where Pettit released the ball. Holding maybe? Yep, holding on the offense. I thought maybe there was an outside chance of a roughing the passer, but another penalty on Sandpoint. The Alta student section with the classic "You can't do that" chant. This has been a good atmosphere. Alta brought some of the students for the student section. We got the Sandpoint Bulldog mascot roaming around the Sandpoint sideline. First and very long. They will hand off. And nowhere to go on the play. That's Cole Timothy on the carry. Actually, Hughes. Sorry, 44. I saw the 4. So Joseph Hughes on the carry gets a yard, and that's it, and it's 2nd and 24. This is the Sandpoint offense. It's kind of stuck in neutral right now. Can't really get much going.
And they've taken a couple shots, just a couple overthrows. Be interesting to see if they'll take another one this deep in their territory.
2nd and 24. Low snap. Pettit's got it in his own end zone, in trouble, dancing away from danger. On the run, fires. That ball is complete somehow between 2 defenders to the 24-yard line to Ari Vandenberg. What a throw by Pettit, rolling to his right, and kind of a 3/4 throw, almost like Phillip Rivers used to do. And that is a gain of 10 to make it 3rd and 10.
And I like to see him targeting a different receiver other than Frank. Frank, obviously, he'll get his targets, he'll get his catches, but it's good to see the ball being distributed somewhere else as well.
Alta had 13 guys on the field. Two defensive linemen were trying to sprint off, and that was going to be a penalty. So Alta has to burn a timeout here with 4:26 to play in the third. 16-15. Alta leads Sandpoint by 1. We'll be back right after this break on North Idaho Game Night and the Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
I got COVID in October 2020, and 3 weeks later, I started having long-term problems. I used to be able to dance all day, but now just getting up gives me chest pain, and I can't comprehend words at times. This has honestly been a very scary journey. I'm telling my long COVID story because I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Getting vaccinated against COVID-19 is the best way to prevent long COVID.
Back at Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg, Brandon Maney, Dallin Fryer, Josh McGauley on IdahoSports.com. Out of the timeout, it is a 3rd down and 10 for Sandpoint from their own 24-yard line. 4:26 to play in the third, and the Bulldogs trailing for the first time all day, 16-15. Quarterback keeper Parker Pettit, nowhere to go. Alta stuffs it right at the line. And it'll be 4th and 10 now for Sandpoint. Sandpoint's offense is going to stay out there on 4th and 10 from their own 24. I would be very surprised if they snap the ball here. And they do. It's going to be a quick kick, and it's blocked! Alta blocks the quick kick attempt. Loose ball. Recovered by Sandpoint, but it doesn't matter. All the way back at the 15-yard line. That was blocked by who else? Tony Vianuku. He has been all over the place today for Alta. So they tried the quick kick with Parker Pettit, and Vianuku says, that's cute. I'm going to go ahead and just block this now.
And I wonder if he expected the quick kick or if he was just simply doing his job and filling a hole. And I mean, he's been doing it all day. No surprise he's in the backfield.
Well, I mean, if the ball is snapped, Vianuku's going like a heat-seeking missile. I mean, because whether it's a pass or a punt, he needs to get the rush on. Boy, another interesting special teams play. Makes it 1st and 10. Alta from the Sandpoint 15 to the end zone. Dropped by Lalo Tafisi. And now look, Hansel Fotu again knocked down on the play, having a hard time getting up. And another injury timeout here. We've seen just about all of it today here. It's been an interesting game, especially from the perspective of special teams. But for the moment, it is Bronco Hansel Fotu, the quarterback for Alta, getting stretched out, maybe a cramp. I'll be honest, when I went to bed last night, I woke up a couple of times in the middle of the night because we walked these big stairs here at Madison, like, I don't know, 20 times yesterday. And, you're walking up, like, what do you think? Like 35 rows of stairs at least?
At least.
And, I didn't drink as much water as I should have, because when you're broadcasting, you can't, you got to make sure you aren't going to the bathroom every 10 minutes. And so I was dehydrated. I had walked up all these stairs. My calves cramped up like 4 or 5 different times last night. And you know how you wake up in the middle of the night and you just feel the searing pain of a calf cramp? So I get it. He's getting stretched out right now. I think it's probably, hopefully it's just cramps. But
and I remember when I was playing high school football as a junior, we played a very hot game in Tremont, Utah against Bear River, and we had, I think, 8 different players go down with cramps. I was one of them, and they tried stretching it out, and eventually you just had to deal with it because it just wasn't getting any better.
So a round of applause here as Bronco Hansel Fotu will have to come off. And again, it's the freshman, Kepa Niamataholu, coming in. Niamatolu. Kepa Niamatolu in at quarterback here on 2nd and 10 from the Sandpoint 15. Niamatolu rolling out to the end zone, nearly picked off. Threw it right to Jack Zimmerman of Sandpoint. Incomplete, 3rd and 10.
It's a tough spot to bring to have a freshman coming in, but I mean, this is where you earn your stripes as well.
Well, in coming in, I thought the backup quarterback might be Matt McKay, the 6'1", 175-pound sophomore. He is 1 for 1 for 24 yards and a touchdown this year, and he's listed as a quarterback on the roster, but they're giving the freshman, Kepa Niamatolu, a little run here. 3rd and 10 from the Sandpoint 15. Niamatolu going to sling it in the flat short. Looking for the running back, Cottis. Felt the heat and threw it at Cottis' feet right away. It's 4th down, and we'll see another field goal try here from Lincoln Eberhardt.
I like that they trust him, though, to pass. He's had 3 different plays, and all of them have been pass attempts. They obviously want him to feel as though they trust him out there as the quarterback position, which is encouraging.
32-yard field goal try from the far hash, the left hash here for Lincoln Eberhardt. Try and extend that lead. It will be wide left. So Eberhardt from 32 yards out misses for the 3rd time today, and again into the wind. That's a tough ask.
Yep, he was good from the right hash in his last attempt. It was a little bit shorter, not much different, but that left hash where the wind is going left, that's a little bit more difficult.
16-15, the score remains in favor of Alta with 3:30 to play in the 3rd. I feel like this 3rd quarter has taken as long as the entire first half did, right?
Absolutely.
There's no, I say this all the time in basketball when there's like lots of fouls in the game, there's no rhythm. There's no flow to this game right now. It's very choppy. There's been a lot of stoppages with timeouts and injuries and penalties, and yeah, just a real, not much rhythm to this game right now. 1st and 10 for Sandpoint from their own 20. They will start with a handoff. This is Brewster taking it to the 29, just shy of the 1st down marker. Again, everybody mixing it up a little bit after the play, and that's a 9-yard run for Brewster on 1st down.
It's the first real positive play that Sandpoint has had in the second half as well.
Well, and it's the first time Brewster has touched the ball in the second half. That's not a coincidence. Brewster in the first half had 69 yards on just 7 carries. That's, 10 yards a carry. 2nd and 1. Alta trying to get lined up. They will give it on a dive. This is Brewster again across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. A gain of 14 and a 1st down.
Back to where they were to end the 2nd quarter, back with that wing tee formation and pounding the ball up the middle.
So Brewster getting it done on the ground. It's First and 10, Sandpoint from their own 42. 2.5 to play in the third. Bulldogs trailing 16-15. Pettit, low snap, has got it. Has time, gonna float it deep for Frank, overshoots everybody. The closest guy there was actually Flores in coverage for Alta, incomplete.
Yeah, Pettit was fortunate that that one sailed over because Flores was in pretty good position right there.
And again, we mentioned this in the pregame, but Parker's dad, Tyler Pettit, actually played quarterback for Alta back in high school. QB1 in 1984 and 85.
I'm sure Parker didn't predict he would ever be playing against Alta.
Yeah. Second and 10 for the Bulldogs. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Single receiver to the bottom is Frank. They will give on an inside handoff and a gain of 3 on the carry. That is Parker Pettit keeping it himself that time, and they'll actually get it out to the 46 for 4. It's 3rd and 6 now. Sandpoint trying to get the lead back here. 2 minutes to play in the third. 3rd and 6. Pettit over the middle. Oh, a big hit delivered, but hanging on to make the grab for Sandpoint is Hunter Garcia. And then he got absolutely walloped by Lalo Tafisi at the end of the play. What a job to hang on.
You could see his helmet bump up. It's not that it was helmet-to-helmet contact, but he got him right underneath the chin, and that was an impressive catch. First grab of the day.
Gain of 11 and a first down. 1st and 10 now at the Alta 44. Screen pass caught by Frank. And boy, thought he fumbled at the end there. They're going to say incomplete pass, and Sandpoint says we'll take it. 2nd and 10 now for the Bulldogs from the Alta 44-yard line. 1:22 to play here in the third. And again, they go to that wing T formation. They'll give on a fullback dive right up the middle, and not much doing there for Ari Vandenberg that time. So Vandenberg carries for a yard. That's the other thing, too. When you're shifting to that wing T, you're then taking wide receivers and making them fullbacks and running backs, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 9 for Sandpoint. They've got to get to the 34-yard line of Alta for the first down. Low snap again. Pettit, backside screen for Frank. Has a reception out to the 37 to make it 4th down and 3.
It feels like that play was 1 second away from being really effective. The left side of the offensive line was just barely getting out there when Frank caught the ball, and he wasn't able to go behind them and use them as lead blockers.
So now 4th and 3. Sandpoint's going to go for it with 40 seconds to play in the third. Ball at the Alta 37-yard line. Vandenberg, the man in motion. Pettit will keep it on a QB draw, trying to bounce outside. He didn't get there. Alta stops him a yard shy, stonewalled by Lalo Tafisi and Isaac Jaramillo. Bulldogs turn it over on downs. Boy, I'll tell you, Lalo Tafisi's had his fingerprints all over this game today.
He's been very impressive. And even just the Alta defense as well, what adjustments they've been able to make to really stifle the run that Sandpoint had been having a lot of success with earlier on.
Lalo's full name is Motu Lalo, but the Alta coaches told him everyone calls him Lalo. Of course, is a fan of Better Call Saul, Lalo Salamanca. You watch that show, Dallin?
I haven't seen it before. Heard of it, though.
All right. There's a character on that show named Lalo as well. He's pretty, he's a bad guy, but I thought he was pretty cool. 1st and 10. Meanwhile, football.
Yeah,
1st and 10. Handoff up the middle to Tyler Cottis. Will go for a gain of 6. I'll call it 7 to make it 2nd and 3. And Cottis all of a sudden in this second half, 12 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards. his 3 longest runs of the day by far, and we will run on into the end of the third quarter. After 3, Alta 16, Sandpoint 15. Hawks put the ball at midfield. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Fourth quarter about ready to begin from Bobcat Stadium in Rexburg, Madison High School, IdahoSports.com, Rocky Mountain Rumble. Brandon Baney with Dallin Fryer here in the broadcast booth. It's Josh McGauley on camera, and he's doing a fine job of that today. Thank you, Josh. We get the thumbs up of approval from Josh. Normally we'd have a headset on Josh so he could talk as well, but we did so many games on IdahoSports.com this weekend that we had no extras to spare. All the headsets were being used. And now a big loss of yardage for Cottis as he loses 2 yards in the backfield. Charging through on the tackle for Sandpoint was Wes Benefield. Penalty flags come out from a couple of different officials, so we'll have to sort out this mess. Okay, and they're going to get Sandpoint for the personal foul face mask. So that is a 15-yard penalty and a first down now for Alta.
Cottis had to come out on that, though. It must have been, it was kind of shielded from us because it was facing the other stands, but he had to come out. Looked like he had maybe a neck injury. That must have been a really egregious face mask right there.
Yes. We were talking about all the games on IdahoSports.com this weekend, including several today here on Saturday. The Idaho 8-Man Classic going on right now in Middleton as well. Paul Kingsbury and Will Henneke on the calls there. That pass batted down at the line by the Bulldogs. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. And again, it is still the freshman, Niamatolu. Niamatolu. I can't even read my own handwriting. Golly. Kepa Niamatolu, the freshman, in for Alta. I am so sorry to Kepa's family if they're watching this. I really am trying. It's 2nd and 10 now for Alta. So again, Bronco Hansel Fotu, the starting quarterback for Alta, still on the sidelines with that injury. Niamatolu off and running, will pick up 5 to the Sandpoint 40 to make it 2nd and 5.
That was impressive. He put his shoulder down and went right at Wimmer, which that's not an easy task to be able to put Wimmer down. Oh, and Hansel Fotu returns to the field on this play.
Interesting. Sandpoint fans stomping their feet, making some noise on 3rd and 5. The Bulldogs need a stop here with 10:50 to play. Down 16-14. Hansel Fotu out of a pistol. Back to pass, has time over the middle. It's caught at the 20. That is Flores with the reception down to the Sandpoint 17 for a first down.
Yeah, you just see the impact that Hansel Fotu has. Strong arm, a lot of poise, and he hit Flores right across the middle, right when they needed a first down.
23-yard connection, 3rd grab of the day for Flores. The first catch he's made that hasn't gone for a touchdown. So now it's 1st and 10 for Alta with the ball at the Sandpoint 17-yard line. 10-10 to play. Hawks up 1. Hansel Fotu will fake the handoff, keep it himself up the middle. Penalty flag comes in again at the end of the play. Hansel Fotu takes it to the 12 for right now a gain of 5. We'll see what they end up calling here. Holding on the Alta offense. Okay. So that'll move it back with 10:01 to play. Alta clinging to a 1-point lead. You know, if Alta were to score here, the extra point would put them up 8. In that situation, if you're Alta head coach Ale Mateo, do you go for 2? Try and push the lead out to 9, make it a 2-score game, knowing that if you don't get it, you're still up 7.
That's tough. I mean, we've seen Sandpoint use the swinging gate on their only score, or their first touchdown, and I mean, you just never know.
Hansel Fotu floats it to the end zone, overthrows everybody. Closest defender was Sandpoint's Shane Sherrill, and now you're looking at 2nd down and 18 from the Sandpoint 25-yard line. Of course, Alta has to score first. That's been a problem for the Hawks today. They have scored twice on a 14-yard touchdown pass from Hansel Fotu to Flores, and then a 30-yard touchdown pass from Hansel Fotu to Flores. And the difference right now, the 26-yard field goal from Lincoln Eberhardt. Caught us on the carry on 2nd and 18. We'll take it for a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 16 now for Alta. And now, I mean, if you're Alta, you can play for the field goal, certainly. You know, this is well within Eberhardt's range, but, you know, a field goal is only going to put you up 4. That doesn't really do you much good.
I mean, and we haven't really seen the Sandpoint kicking game yet. We saw a good PAT go through the uprights, but we haven't really seen any field goal attempts. We don't know what the range is.
That's true. I mean, I guess if you're up 4, that forces Sandpoint to go for the touchdown. Hansel Fotu going to go for the touchdown to the end zone. Thrown out of bounds. 3 Bulldog defenders in the neighborhood, and initial coverage provided by Graham Dunkel. So now here it is, 4th down. What do? You bring out Eberhardt for a field goal. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
And Eberhardt, they trust. He's been, it's been pretty consistent. If they have an opportunity for a field goal, they're going to kick it.
Well, this is a 40-yard try for Eberhardt. Straight on, middle of the field. To try and put Alta in front by 4. And it's blocked! Sandpoint blocks the kick. It is picked up by Alta all the way back at the 50-yard line. Sandpoint blocks the field goal try, and the Bulldogs are in business. I have no idea who actually blocked that kick, only because there was like 3 guys there. I mean, they busted. That was a fire drill. They busted through the line.
They knew what they needed.
So, pretty incredible play there. 8:38 to play, and now the Bulldogs have the ball.
And we haven't been able to see them move the ball very effectively throughout this half. Does that shift momentum towards Sandpoint?
It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 48-yard line. They will start with a handoff that will go to the 49-yard line of Alta for a gain of 3. And on that carry is Max Frank. So we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here. 8:10 to play. And a 16-15 lead for Alta. Bulldogs have the ball right at midfield, though. It's a 2nd and 7. Pettit ready, will hand off. This is Brewster trying to bounce it to the outside. And Brewster will be brought down a yard shy of the 1st down marker. So a gain of 6 for Brewster. It'll be 3rd and 1 now for the Bulldogs.
Last few times, Pettit has called his own number on a zone read as they've been in 3rd and short situations. Both were not able to capitalize on. It'll be interesting to see if they go there a 3rd time in a row.
3rd and 1 for Sandpoint. 7.5 to play. 16-15. Alta lead is 1. Bulldogs with the ball. Pettit will give to Brewster up the middle to the 40 of Alta. And a Sandpoint first down, a gain of 4.
Brewster's done nothing but move the ball today. It's been a great performance by him.
He is. He's a chain mover. 7 minutes to go. 16-15. Alta lead is 1. Sandpoint with a 1st and 10, though, at the Hawks 40. Pettit with 2 receivers either side. Will hand off to Brewster. Swallowed up. Boston Blanco, the first guy in there for Alta, and a loss of a yard.
Pettit didn't really have much of an option there. All the Alta defenders were on top of him and Brewster. Great play by the Alta front 4.
Yeah, read option play, and the option was get walloped either way. So 2nd and 11 for Sandpoint now from the Alta 41. Clock really starting to trickle down now. We're down to 6:15 to play. Sandpoint down 1. Pettit will give off to Frank on an inside counter, and Frank will take it to the 35. And another penalty flag comes in at the end here. We will await the call. For the moment, a 6-yard gain. Still no indication of what the call might be here. So what do they call that down? A block below the knees?
Yeah, they called it an illegal block,
illegal
a
block.
chop block. They've really tried to hammer down on those the last few years.
Back to pass. Pettit in trouble. Doinked around. One of the linemen nearly caught it. And then it was nearly intercepted by a couple of Alta Hawks. And now it's 3rd down and forever here for Sandpoint.
I believe that Ari Vandenberg just came and swatted that out of his own lineman's hands. He did not want that ball to be caught. He wanted to make sure that they got back to their original spot.
Line of scrimmage, right? And a big guy, all he's thinking is, ooh, the football.
Yep.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
The watermelon.
That's right. We're able to figure out that blocked field goal from Sandpoint came from Blaine Canning. That led to this drive that's in danger of being brought down, and Blanco sacks Pettit all the way back at the 40. That's a loss of 8, and 4th down and 30 now for Sandpoint. Boston Blanco comes through on the sack. With 5.5 to go, it is 4th and 30. Sandpoint will punt.
Love that play call by Alta, too. Still sending people, even though it's a 3rd and long. They're making sure that they're putting their foot on the gas and not letting off. This defense has been impressive.
Jacob Gove will have to punt into the wind. Gets off a pretty good kick, all things considered. Will take a Sandpoint bounce as well. Will roll inside the 20 and be down at the 19. That's a great punt from Gove. And so now, with 4:56 to play, Alta in front by a point, 16-15. Facing a 1st and 10 from their own 20. Can the Bulldogs, they've hung their hat on defense so many times. Can they get another stop to try and get the ball back?
Still have their 3 timeouts as well, so 5 minutes on the clock, really maybe not yet playing a as big of a factor into the game plan that the Bulldogs will be going with.
This has been a grinded out type of game today, no doubt about it. 1st and 10 for the Hawks. And it's the freshman back in there at quarterback on the keeper around the left side. Spin move at the 30. That is a gain of 11 and a first down for Kepa Niamatolu.
Let's go.
So Niamatolu is able to carry it for 11. You know, if he would just stay, you know, he keeps like coming in for like 3 plays, and then they'll bring Hansel Fotu back in, and
you kind of move the name from your brain for a minute.
You know, it goes over into the recycle bin, and I'm scrambling trying to make sure I didn't delete the file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyways.
Great run by him, though.
Yes. Yeah. Great run for Niamatolu. That was a designed run. So, you're like you said, he's a freshman, but the coaches trust him to run the offense. This is Connors. Started one way, went back the other, and somehow was able to pick up positive yardage. He was dead to rights as soon as he got the ball at the line of scrimmage and was able to get 3 yards on the play.
Good to see Cottis back out there, too. He's come off the field twice because of injuries. Maybe they didn't stop play for him, but he was kind of limping off, and so it's good to see him moving side to side. You don't always get that after an injury.
Meanwhile, the clock down to 3:40 now with Alta clinging to a 16-15 lead. Sandpoint trying to get the ball back. Boston Blanco, a key sack on that last defensive possession for the Hawks. Niamatolu will hand off to Cottis again, and Cottis only a yard. Sandpoint ready defensively this time. Initial tackle made by Kyron Riddle. And now an injured Bulldog. Slow to get up. The injury bug is certainly bitten today. And again, looks like it could just be a cramp as the Bulldog player is stretching out. Now they'll go out and stretch his hamstring. So you want weird special teams plays? We've had it today. Lincoln Eberhardt, just for Lincoln Eberhardt, the kicker and punter for Alta, he's missed a 43-yard field goal into the wind. He missed a 55-yard field goal with the wind. He missed a point after try because of a bad snap/bad hold. He made a 26-yard field goal into the wind. He missed a 32-yard field goal into the wind. And then he missed a 40-yard field goal with the wind. It's been a weird day. Not only that, but when he punted, he has uncorked 2 great punts and one that went -9 yards.
It's definitely one that he's going to remember. I mean, at this point, maybe in a good way, because his field goal that he did make is the difference in the game.
Meanwhile, for Sandpoint and their special teams today, they've had a muffed punt. They had a punt go down to the 1-yard line of Alta. And they had a blocked field goal on that last field goal try from 40 yards by Eberhardt. I misspoke. He didn't miss it. It got blocked. It was Blaine Canning who came through and blocked it for Sandpoint. So it's just been that's why we're at 16-15, folks. It's been a weird day, special teams wise.
Alta's also blocked a punt.
Yes, they have. You are correct. How could I forget that?
On a quick kick.
On a quick kick by Parker Pettit.
I think Sandpoint also had about a 10-yard punt in their own territory as well. It's been crazy.
Oh, special teams. 3rd and 6 for Alta. This is a big play for the Sandpoint defense. And a penalty here. Is this a delay of game? Oh, my goodness. Delay of game. Following a prolonged injury timeout where Levi Ballison of Sandpoint had to leave. And now Ballison going back over to head coach Ryan Knowles and saying, hey, I'm ready. You know, you can put me back in. So after that long time for the injury timeout, a delay of game from Alta makes it 3rd and 11 for the Hawks. And freshman quarterback Kepa Niamatolu. Sandpoint trying to get a stop. Niamatolu fires. It is caught right at the first down marker. Is it enough? Depends upon the spot. The pass is complete to Flores, and they will move the chains. A huge first down completion from the freshman Niumatolu to the veteran senior Noah Flores.
Yeah, eventually you just got to go to the guy that has caught the majority of the passes today. And Niumatolu really came through there. Great throw by the freshman.
Yeah, first completed pass today for Niumatolu, and now the clock down to 2:09 to play. Sandpoint can't give up another first down, or this game will be over. Or they're going to have to start using their timeouts. Niumatolu on first down will hand off to Cottis, blown up in the backfield, back at the 35-yard line. That's Wes Benefield coming through to make the stop, and they will mark it back at the 40 on quote-unquote forward progress. Actually, the 39, so only a 2-yard loss for Cottis. Meanwhile, Sandpoint takes their first timeout. We'll just keep it right here because this is a pretty good game. Our game reset, 1:53 to play. Alta leads Sandpoint 16-15. The timeout situation, Alta has all three, right? Or they have two, and Sandpoint has two. It is Alta with the ball, facing a 2nd and 12 from the Sandpoint, from their own 39-yard line. Alta right now is throwing/kicking with the wind. Sandpoint is going against the wind.
And that could really play a factor here if the Sandpoint defense is able to put a stop. We've seen Eberhardt has a good leg, and he's punted one that's gone down inside of the 10. If they can take enough time in these next few plays and burn the timeouts, obviously, first down might win the game. But if they can take enough time, get a good punt, it's going to be hard going into the wind to throw a couple deep balls for Sandpoint.
Yeah, you really thought in that third quarter when Sandpoint led 15-7 and then trailed 16-15 that was their quarter to try and get something going, but they haven't scored since the second period. 2nd down and 12. Handoff to Cottis, right side. Will take it to the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And Sandpoint will spend their second timeout here to stop the clock. And again, our game reset. 1:50 to play now. Alta leads Sandpoint by 1, 16-15. The timeout situation, Alta has 2 timeouts remaining. Sandpoint has 1. It is a 3rd down and 6 for Alta at the 45-yard line of the Hawks. Going with the wind is Alta. Sandpoint going against the wind.
And we've seen them go to Cottis the last few plays. We did see Niumatolu have a long run many plays ago, probably about 6 or 7 plays ago, but he hasn't ran the ball since. I wonder if they'll go with a zone read in this case or just trust that Cottis is going to be able to put the ball as close to the first down marker as possible.
And for Sandpoint, if they get the stop here on 3rd down, again, Alta will be punting with the wind, which means Sandpoint's probably going to be backed up pretty far in terms of field position. 3rd down and 6. This could be the play of the game. Niumatolu pitch out to Cottis to the edge. Cottis gets the first down. They needed 6. Cottis gets 9, and that'll do it. Sandpoint has 1 timeout. Barring a turnover of some kind here, Alta can just run it out with 1:44 to play. Sandpoint down to just 1 timeout.
What a play call by Alta, too. We haven't seen them run the traditional option play where they have the option to pitch, and Niumatolu made a great pitch to Cottis there.
Cottis did run out of bounds, which stops the clock. Might be a saving grace for Sandpoint, but again, it's going to be hard now for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10, ball to Sandpoint 47. Niumatolu will take the snap, give to Cottis right side, and Cottis to the 40. Cottis lowering the shoulder to the Sandpoint 35, carrying Bulldogs. A gain of 13 and another Alta first down.
I wonder here, too, if Sandpoint in the back of their heads wonder if they should try to bait Alta into scoring. Because it is only a 1-point game, which still, even after a PHC, could create a one-possession game. I mean, it's a little ways out, so if they just let an open lane go through, you assume Alta would be able to take a knee, but maybe they'll just trust Niumatolu to make the right decision here.
That famously happened in the Super Bowl when I was a kid. Green Bay Packers were playing the Denver Broncos, and the Packers intentionally let Terrell Davis score.
It doesn't look like they're interested in that yet, but they did have one timeout left.
I was like 10 years old and a Packers fan, and I cried because they lost.
I just watched that game on NFL Network last week, actually.
Well, and the crazy thing about that was Cottis loses 2 on the carry. Sandpoint will take their third and final timeout here with 53 seconds to go, and Alta leading by 1. The crazy thing about that game was Mike Holmgren, the Packers coach at the time, lost track of how many timeouts the Packers had. He actually had 2 timeouts remaining, and he thought they only had 1, and so they didn't need to allow the intentional touchdown, but they did. And anyways, that was.
It doesn't stick in your memory. You're not bitter.
He had already secretly taken the Seattle Seahawks job behind closed doors anyway, so he was kind of checked out at that point anyways. But I mean, I don't know.
At least you were still able to see your team win in your childhood.
That's right. So our game reset here. We're down to 53 seconds to play. Alta leads Sandpoint 16-15. Sandpoint has no timeouts remaining. And Alta facing a 2nd and 12 here. They're going to kneel the ball and get out of here with the win. This was an impressive victory for Alta. You know, was it pretty? No. But I'll tell you what, they hung tough. They trailed the entire first half. Didn't lead until midway through the third quarter, but then they never trailed once they got the lead.
Yeah, the second half, I mean, the Sandpoint offense wasn't a slouch in the first half. They had a lot of yards, and, I mean, we'll tally it up after the game finishes up, but the Alta defense was very, very good in the second half, and the offense did just enough.
Well, and this is an offense that did it with the backup quarterback, right? Freshman Kepa Niumatolu in the second half. So
yeah, hats off to him.
Alta will kneel down and celebrate. The Hawks moved 2-1 on the season, and for Sandpoint, they drop their season opener. The Bulldogs will start the 2022 campaign 0-1 with a 16-15 loss here at the Rocky Mountain Rumble. The IdahoSports.com postgame show is headed your way next here on North Idaho Game Night and the 2022 Rocky Mountain Rumble on IdahoSports.com.
High school sports teams are known for their unity. No matter what's happening on the field, they stick together. Players, coaches, students, parents. One big family. That's why Mountain West Bank is so proud to sponsor Idaho high school sports. Today, tomorrow, together.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text StartMyQuit to 36072.
No matter what life holds, we'll be there for you. Mountain West Bank. Today, tomorrow, together.
Welcome into the IdahoSports.com postgame show. One final time from Bobcat Stadium at Madison High School in Rexburg. Brandon Bainey alongside Dallin Fryer, where the Alta Hawks defeat the Sandpoint Bulldogs 16-15 in kind of a gritty, grinded-out defensive type of affair. So Sandpoint led 15-7 at halftime, or 15-7 at the end of one, 15-13 at halftime, and Alta pitches the shutout in the second half. Pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Dallin.
And the player of the game goes to Noah Flores from Alta. He had 4 catches, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but he also made a great impact on defense as he was tasked with stopping Max Frank. Frank had a couple good catches in the first half, and in the second half, he covered Frank about as good as anybody in the state could. And he is our player of the game.
Nicely done. I mean, 2 of his 4 receptions ended with him in the end zone. So, yeah, a high-efficiency player for sure. Thank you for tuning into this IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of North Idaho Game Night presented by Mountain West Bank. Today's game has also been brought to you by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Big thanks to everybody here at Madison. Once again, hosting the Rocky Mountain Rumble, doing a fine job. The Alta Hawks defeat the Sandpoint Bulldogs 16-15. Alta now 2-1 on the year. Sandpoint drops their season opener. They are 0-1. And again, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Noah Flores for Alta. For Dallin Fryer, I'm Brandon Bainey. Our next game, you can see him warming up. The Pocatello Thunder going to take on the Morgan Trojans. We'll be back with that in about 20 minutes. Until then, thanks for tuning in on IdahoSports.com.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of Idaho